the Rural Radio Network, I'm Chad Moyer. It is time for our weekly visit with Nebraska's ag climatologist, Al Dutcher. Al, thanks for joining us here today. Boy, it looks like it's our first good cold snap for the season. Definitely getting chilly in the region, but it looks like there's some hope on the horizon. Give us the summary, Al.
Yeah, we've got this Arctic air that came in here over the last couple of days. We just keep getting these reinforcing shots of cold air, and they keep getting stronger and stronger. And result of the trough that's over the Great Lakes, it's really deepening, and it's going to be responsible for the heavy snowfall they've received already. And, of course, some of the big lake effect snow is expected over the next 24 to 36 hours across most of western Michigan and upstate New York. In fact, my sister in Buffalo just called and said they updated their forecast anywhere from 3 to 5 feet of snow there in Buffalo. So the lake effect machine is going to get going, and it's going to, as it strengthens, we're going to be seeing the relaxation of that ridge here and some warmer temperatures coming in, particularly starting the second half of this upcoming weekend. And that looks like it's going to continue on through at least midweek. And the last few days, there's been some really radical changes in the models as we get out to next week. And I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. I have no confidence once we get past Wednesday about what's going to go on. Essentially taking what was originally here about a week ago, a little shortwave trough moving across the Dakotas and keeping us in the warmer sector for, most of the holiday weekend. Then all of a sudden we started to see a reversion to bigger troughs coming into the western United States, and they've moved that trough anywhere to the southern plains to the northern plains. So there is a system coming across as we get into next Wednesday and Thursday most likely. The bigger question is, where is it going to occur, and whether or not it's going to be able to draw enough moisture northward to create any kind of a scenario here in the Central Plains as we go through into the holiday weekend. So I would just keep a track of the weather, because things are likely to change over the next couple of days until this upper air trough comes onto the West Coast. We're really just basically estimating based on surface data out on the Eastern Pacific. Once it comes on shore, we'll get a much better picture of where this trough itself is going to head. But as it does come through, it does look like it'll be a brief shot of cooler air, and then we warm back up again as another large system starts to come into the western United States, and that one's kind of stagnates. So we may actually see a fairly warm extended trend go into early part of December, just depending on how quickly that upper air low off the West Coast moves in. And that will help to pull out some of the frost that's accumulated in the ground, particularly over northern Nebraska, where we're seeing frost steps up in the northeast, somewhere in the 4 to 8 inch range, a little bit less here down the southern part of the state. That'll probably go out, no question about it, in the early part of next week. But any place that's essentially shaded from this direct sunlight is likely to carry some frost in through at least the end of next week, unless we get another shot of cold air that can drive it down deeper. So the bigger issue is precipitation. It looks like this is going to be our major precipitation event if it does occur. And right now, I would say the odds are not very good for precipitation with this system. But like I said, keep an eye on the weather, because things change at this time of the year. And we've seen already that these systems can really get wrapped up already this fall and create some pretty significant storm systems when they do materialize. And the models have not been performing very well, at least in terms of where they're getting the exact location of these systems coming out several days in advance.
All right. As always, great insight. Thanks so much for the information. Nebraska's ag climatologist Al Dutcher with us here on the Rural Radio Network. Chad Moore.